Shiba Inu is showing signs of a slow but steady recovery today, and analysts across the board are taking notice. According to fresh chart data, Shiba Inu is starting to form some very bullish patterns. This has created a buzz throughout the community, especially since about 38 trillion Shiba Inu tokens are currently in motion, an amount large enough to potentially influence the entire market direction. While many investors are excited, there's a harsh reality most don't want to hear. A huge number of holders may simply not have enough tokens to really capitalize on any major breakout. And once you see the numbers, it's honestly quite shocking. Let's break it all down and explain what's really going on here. First off, the price has begun climbing again, shaking off recent losses and inching back into the green. This kind of momentum is exactly what traders and long-term investors want to see. Confidence is returning. You can feel it not just on the charts but in the overall sentiment within the community. Social media chatter, wallet activity, and trading volume are all picking up. And this confidence has sparked some very bold predictions. One analyst just shared a massive projection about Shiba Inu's future. According to him, there's a certain amount of Shiba Inu you'd need to hold right now to stand a realistic chance of becoming a millionaire if things play out the way some predict. And guess what? Most people don't come anywhere close to holding enough. But we'll talk more about that in a minute. Let's first zoom into the technical side of things. The chart is signaling strong support at a key level, with over 26,000 wallets holding a significant stash of tokens at this exact price zone. We're not talking about a few billion here or there. We're talking trillions. That kind of volume forms a rock-solid base, potentially becoming the foundation for the next major upward movement. If momentum continues, this could be the exact level from which Shiba Inu blasts off again. However, it's not all smooth sailing from here. While there's a mountain of support just below the current price, there's also a big wall of resistance just above. That same 38 trillion tokens we mentioned earlier? They're sitting at this higher level, right in the path of any upward movement. These tokens were scooped up by more than 67,000 wallets, and now we're nearing their entry point. What happens when prices hit this zone? Historically, many of these holders begin selling, either to break even or to lock in a bit of profit. When that many people try to exit at once, it creates a resistance wall that's tough to break. For Shiba Inu to power through this wall, buyers have to come in strong. The bulls need to absorb all that sell pressure and still push prices higher. It's not an easy task, but if they succeed, the result could be explosive. In fact, some believe that this next breakout could genuinely change lives. So how much Shiba Inu would you need to make serious gains if such a breakout occurs? That same analyst did some calculations. Let's say you decided to invest in 100 million Shiba Inu tokens today. At current prices, that would set you back around $1,000. Now, if Shiba Inu were to ever hit the much-discussed milestone of 1 cent per token, that bag would be worth $1 million. It sounds wild, but it's actually mathematically sound. Of course, reaching 1 cent per token would require a meteoric rise in price. We're talking about gains that would dwarf most traditional investments. And while this might sound like a fantasy, some experts believe it's not entirely impossible. For example, the crypto exchange Changelly has projected that Shiba Inu could hit 1 cent by the year 2050. It's a long-term forecast, sure, but it adds legitimacy to what many call a dream scenario. Even within the Shiba Inu ecosystem, this price level is seen as achievable, eventually. The developers and core team members are being honest. It won't happen overnight. But with consistent development, strategic partnerships, and community support, it could happen. Luis Delgado, also known as Del Crypto, a well-respected voice in the Shiba community, has often said that in crypto, nothing is impossible. And he's absolutely right. We've seen coins rise from the ashes to reach unimaginable highs. Other bold voices like Bitcoin advocates Yazison and Jason Williams have even claimed Shiba Inu might reach as high as 5 cents by the end of this year. Now that's an extremely aggressive call, but it shows just how bullish some market watchers are becoming. Even ChatGPT itself, when asked to evaluate the token's future, estimated there's a realistic chance Shiba Inu might pass the 1 cent mark by 2040. All these predictions, whether they sound too hopeful or not, force us to ask one key question. How could Shiba Inu possibly pull this off? Well, according to analysts, it starts with sentiment. And sentiment is shifting fast. CoinCoDX recently reported that over 55% of investors are now leaning bullish on Shiba Inu. That's more than just a slight lean. It shows the early stages of a potential market-wide shift. If we get another big rally like the one we saw in 2020 and 2021, then yeah, all bets are off. The momentum would be unstoppable. Some forecasts already predict Shiba Inu could reach halfway to that 1 cent mark in the next major run. Others go further, aiming not just for 1 cent, but for a full dollar. But let's be real for a moment. Hitting $1 would be extremely difficult. Not because it's impossible, but because of one massive hurdle: supply. There are still hundreds of trillions of Shiba Inu tokens in circulation. This level of supply means that even if each token were worth just 1 cent, the total market cap would skyrocket into the trillions of dollars. That would put it above the total market value of gold, and that's just not realistic under current economic conditions. The only path to those kinds of numbers would be a massive supply burn. And we're not talking small burns here. We're talking about eliminating 90% or more of the entire circulating supply. If that were to happen, and we ended up with just 100 billion tokens left in the ecosystem, then a $1 Shiba Inu would suddenly become mathematically realistic. Now here's the twist. Burning that much supply isn't easy. The developers behind Shiba Inu don't control the tokens directly. They can't just press a button and remove trillions of tokens. It would require either massive community-driven initiatives or enormous buybacks, which are not currently feasible. So while it's possible, it remains a long shot. But in the world of crypto, even a small chance is often enough to spark a fire. The hope, the dream, that's what keeps investors coming back. And even when we look at Shiba Inu through a long-term lens, the story is still powerful. You see, Shiba Inu didn't start as a billion-dollar project. It started as a decentralized experiment launched by an anonymous founder named Ryoshi. No fancy marketing, no venture capital firms. Just a simple idea: give the power to the people. And from that simple start, Shiba Inu exploded into a global phenomenon. People have used profits from Shiba Inu to buy homes, pay off debt, change their lives. It's no longer just a meme coin. It's become a symbol of hope, of community, of what's possible when everyday people come together around a shared goal. Even now, the Shiba Inu ecosystem keeps expanding. Projects like Shibarium and partnerships with other crypto platforms are building real infrastructure. And all of this is being done not by massive corporations or billionaires, but by the community. The Shib army is still here, still building, still believing. That's what makes Shiba Inu more than just another token. It represents freedom. A chance for regular people to be part of something bigger. And whether or not it ever hits 1 cent or more, that belief, that energy, is something truly powerful. So now the question turns to you. What do you believe? Could Shiba Inu actually make it? And if it does, will you be ready? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to keep up with the latest Shiba Inu updates, make sure to turn on notifications and subscribe to the channel. Missing out could mean missing a life-changing opportunity. And if you found this video helpful, share it with your friends. Let's spread the word. Thanks for watching.